Adrian Kamara was a man who carried two worlds within him, a proud legacy of his Sierra Leonean heritage and the modern sensibilities of his white ancestry. In his early 30s, Adrian had built a successful life in the United States. A bachelor living alone in a sleek modern apartment in a bustling metropolis, he had devoted himself to self-improvement and ambitious projects. Recently, however, his heart had called him home to Africa. Adrian had returned to his ancestral land to spearhead a community development project, a venture meant to blend tradition with modern innovation and to give back to the people who had nurtured his roots. Settling into a modest guest house near a thriving town in Sierra Leone, Adrian began work on his project with a quiet determination. His days were filled with meetings, site visits, and brainstorming sessions with local leaders. In the midst of these challenges, he found solace in his solitary routines, immersing himself in literature and art. Despite his outward calm, he felt an unexplained sense of anticipation, as if something extraordinary was waiting for him just beyond the horizon of his carefully constructed reality. One humid evening, while Adrian was away on a short business trip to a neighboring town, an unusual event unfolded at his guest house. The night was heavy with the scent of rain and earth, and the darkness was punctuated by the soft hum of distant traffic. In the solitude of his guest house, something stirred in the most unexpected of places, his bathroom. In the quiet hours before dawn, a slithering movement emerged from the gleaming porcelain of his toilet bowl. A serpent, sleek and iridescent, slowly began its transformation. Its scaly body shimmered and contorted as if caught in a magical metamorphosis, until, before the startled silence of the empty guest-house, it transformed into a breathtaking woman. The creature's form was that of a beautiful lady, graceful and alluring, with luminous features that held a mysterious, otherworldly charm. Her skin glowed with a subtle radiance, and her eyes, deep and knowing, seemed to reflect the secrets of the night. Draped in elegant attire that blended traditional motifs with modern design, she moved silently through the guest-house, her steps light as if she were floating, before vanishing into thin air. When Adrian returned later that night from his trip, he was unaware of the eerie visitor. The guest-house, though unaltered to the untrained eye, harbored an invisible change, a seed of enchantment sown in the dark. The following evening, as Adrian drove his sleek black car along a well-traveled road leading back to his guest house, he noticed a radiant figure standing by the roadside. The woman was striking, dressed in elegant modern clothing that accentuated her graceful figure, with features that hinted at both mystery and allure. Her light porcelain skin glowed under the streetlights, and her eyes held an enigmatic spark that made it impossible for Adrian to ignore her presence. Curiosity got the better of him. Pulling over, he rolled down his window and called out gently, "Good evening. Are you all right?" The woman smiled, a smile both warm and subtly mischievous. "I'm perfectly fine," she replied in a soft, melodious tone. "I was waiting for you, Adrian." Her use of his name sent a ripple of surprise through him. He hadn't yet met her face to face before, but something about her was inexplicably familiar, as if they shared a hidden connection. Intrigued and drawn by her aura, Adrian invited her into the car. They began to converse, exchanging pleasantries and tentative questions about one another's lives. For Adrian, this unexpected encounter was a spark of magic, a moment that promised a break from the monotony of his work, and a glimpse into something wondrous. Over the course of that brief conversation, the mysterious woman introduced herself as Amara. As the evening deepened into night, their exchange grew more personal. Amara's words were enchanting, carrying hints of old secrets and hidden realms. Adrian found himself captivated not only by her beauty, but also by the subtle intensity in her gaze. Though a part of him remained cautious, he couldn't help but be drawn to her mysterious allure. Days turned into weeks, and Amara began to appear more frequently in Adrian's life. At first, her visits were seemingly coincidental, a chance encounter in the market here, a shared smile at a community event there. But as fate would have it, Amara soon moved into Adrian's guest house. Her arrival was sudden, an invitation extended silently and accepted with equal parts hope and apprehension. Adrian, ever the kind and humble soul, welcomed her into his life without reservation. Despite an inexplicable undercurrent of unease that occasionally tugged at his heart, he was determined to forge a connection with Amara. Little did he know that behind her luminous smile lay a dark mission, an assignment given to her by a clandestine group of malevolent forces. Their objective was clear: to destroy Adrian, to ruin the project he had so lovingly nurtured, and to unravel the future of the community he aimed to uplift. Yet as Amara settled into her new life with Adrian, something unexpected began to happen. Immersed in his genuine kindness, humility, and the quiet strength of his character, Amara found herself falling in love. The mission that had once consumed her every thought was now in constant battle with the blossoming tenderness in her heart. Conflicted and tormented, she tried to balance her dark assignment with her newfound feelings. In secret, she waged a war within herself. Every day, every moment, her loyalty to the malevolent cause clashed with her sincere affection for Adrian. Despite her inner turmoil, Amara felt compelled to fulfill her duty. Subtly, she began to sabotage Adrian's well-being. At first it was minor, a sudden bout of dizziness, inexplicable fatigue. Then his business ventures started to stumble. Unfortunate accidents, unexpected delays in the community project, and a series of unfortunate events began to plague his efforts. Even more disturbing, several of Adrian's siblings and close family members began to fall ill, their health deteriorating mysteriously. Adrian, ever the optimist, was deeply troubled by these misfortunes. He turned to both modern medicine and traditional remedies in search of answers. The guest house, once a sanctuary of hope and progress, now seemed to be overshadowed by an unseen curse. Unbeknownst to him, each setback was a consequence of the spiritual poisoning Amara had cast, a poison not of physical substances, but of dark energy intended to unravel his destiny. Amara, wrestling with guilt and the cold weight of duty, attempted to shield Adrian from the full force of her sabotage. She tried in quiet moments to counteract the curse with gentle healing touches and whispered apologies to an unseen force. But the malevolent orders were relentless. If she did not carry out her mission, a terrible fate would befall her. Each day her inner struggle grew more intense, as did the toll on Adrian's life. On a particularly stormy night, as thunder rolled over the countryside and rain battered the guest house, the situation reached a critical point. Adrian's condition worsened, his health was failing, and the community project was teetering on the brink of collapse. The despair in his eyes and the heavy burden on his heart did not go unnoticed by those who cared about him. Among them was a formidable woman of God named Esther. Esther was renowned in the community for her unwavering faith and her deep connection to the spiritual realm. She had known Adrian's mother and was well respected for her wisdom and her healing prayers. Sensing the dark energy surrounding Adrian, Esther visited him at the guest house one chilly evening. Seated in a quiet corner of the living room, with a circle of candles casting gentle light upon their faces, Esther began to pray. Her voice, firm and resonant, filled the room with a powerful incantation of healing and forgiveness. As she prayed, the air grew thick with spiritual energy, a force that seemed to push back against the encroaching darkness. Amara, who had been watching from the shadows, felt the full weight of her choices. The prayers seemed to cut through the veil of deception she had woven, stirring emotions she had long tried to suppress. In that moment, the transformation that had once been her curse, the ability to shift between snake and beautiful lady, began to manifest in a way she had never allowed before. With each verse of Esther's prayer, Amara's form shimmered and shifted, her body trembling as the curse fought for release. Unable to withstand the overpowering spiritual force and the guilt that now consumed her, Amara realized she could no longer hide the truth. In a burst of emotion that mingled with the flickering candlelight, she stepped forward from the darkness. The room fell silent as all eyes turned toward her. In a surreal moment, her form shimmered. For a brief heartbeat, the image of a sinuous, scaled snake appeared before melting once more into the radiant, sorrowful visage of a beautiful woman. With tears glistening in her eyes, Amara confessed, her voice trembling with remorse and longing. "Adrian," she said, "I have deceived you. I was sent here with a mission, to destroy you and the future you represent. But in the depths of my heart, I found something I never expected. Love. I have brought darkness upon you, and for that I beg your forgiveness." Adrian, weakened by illness yet possessing a quiet strength, listened intently. His heart, though pained by the betrayal he felt, recognized the sincerity in her words. In that moment, as Esther's prayers continued to fill the room with divine energy, a miracle of understanding began to take root. The spiritual poison that had been slowly draining his life seemed to dissipate as he looked into Amara's tearful eyes, a reflection of regret and genuine love. In the days that followed, with Esther's guidance and the unwavering support of the community, Adrian slowly began to heal. The curse that had threatened his life and his work lifted gradually, replaced by an aura of hope and renewal. Amara, having confessed her sins and faced the consequences of her dark mission, dedicated herself to helping mend the wounds she had inflicted. No longer a tool of malevolence, she embraced the path of redemption, working tirelessly to restore the fortunes of the man she had come to love. Together, Adrian and Amara embarked on a journey of healing, not only for themselves but for the entire community that had stood by them in their darkest hours. Their partnership became a symbol of transformation and forgiveness. The community project, once endangered by a mysterious curse, blossomed into a beacon of progress and unity. Adrian's vision, infused with the strength of his Sierra Leonean heritage and the modern ingenuity of his upbringing, took on new life as the community prospered. One crisp morning, as the sun rose over the verdant landscape, casting golden rays over the town, Adrian and Amara stood side by side before the assembled community. With Esther leading a final prayer of gratitude and renewal, Amara spoke with heartfelt sincerity. "I came here with a mission of destruction, but through love and forgiveness, I have found redemption. I ask for your forgiveness, and I promise to devote my life to healing and to building a future that honors both our past and our dreams." The crowd, moved by the power of her confession and the genuine transformation in her eyes, welcomed her with open arms. In that moment, as the community embraced the promise of a new beginning, the air itself seemed to shimmer with possibility. Adrian's eyes met Amara's, and in them a silent vow was exchanged, a promise that even the darkest of mistakes can give birth to a future filled with hope, compassion, and love. And so, in a world where ancient curses and modern ambition collided, a beautiful ending emerged, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of forgiveness. As Adrian and Amara forged ahead together, their story became a cherished legend, a reminder that love, when nurtured with humility and grace, can conquer even the most insidious of darkness. Years later, the community flourished, and the project that had once teetered on the brink of ruin became a thriving center of innovation and unity. Adrian and Amara, now partners in every sense of the word, continued to inspire others with their tale, a tale of a man who returned to his roots, of a woman who transformed her curse into a blessing, and of the undeniable truth that even in a world of deception, love, and redemption can light the way to a brighter tomorrow.